Good afternoon, Cottonwood Creek teachers. As part of the science cohort, I was charged with creating a short video over the Sally Ride Institute training that I had done previously in September. All 4th and 5th grade teachers went to it, and it was absolutely amazing. Before I really get to the meat and potatoes of what we were doing, I'd like to first explain to you that I'm crazy excited about what this does for children. Not only do we sometimes fall into the old definition of a scientist, right? Crazy lab coat, glasses, pocket protector, dumping chemicals, blowing ourselves up. I think this takes it a whole step farther. It's like a whole new step. And it really teaches kids that they can do things that you and I wouldn't ordinarily think, oh wow, that's a scientist, or ooh, this falls under the category of environmental science. We wouldn't necessarily think that way, but the really good thing about the Sally Ride Institute is that it's teaching us to start thinking that way so that we can help our children think that way. To get us started, I thought instead of me telling you what Sally Ride was, I'm just going to show you what Sally Ride is. All right, CCE teachers, here's the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to meet a few of the famous scientists we learned about at Sally Ride. You may not have heard of them, but trust me, they're famous in their respective fields. And up first we have, and what is your name, young lady?
My name is Rosalie Lopez, and I work for NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory as a volcanologist.
Wow, a volcanologist. What is that?
I investigate the origins of lava, which starts out as magma or liquid rock underground.
Wow, that sounds like an amazing career. Thank you for joining us today. All right, and our next scientist up, sir, what is your name?
My name is Martin Wolf, and I'm a project technologist.
A product technologist. What does that do?
I create new or improved eco-friendly cleaning products.
Very cool. If you could tell me one thing that you really enjoy about being a scientist in your field, what would it be?
To make carpets that do not give off toxic fumes.
Toxic fumes. Very nice to meet you, sir. All right, CCE teachers, I know you're warming up to Sally Ride. And next, we have a young man, a scientist from Stanford. And sir, what is your name?
Rodolfo Dirzo.
And Mr. Dirzo, what field of science do you study?
Tropical ecology.
Tropical ecology. Well, if I'm a tropical ecologist, what do I do?
I study how plants and animals live in forests, and I study the health of those ecosystems.
Very cool. And if, like I was talking to another scientist, if I could ask you one question, it would be, what do you really love about doing or being a tropical ecologist?
I like to try to determine why certain plants and animals are disappearing from all the rainforests.
Mr. Dirzo, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
All right, teachers. I know that you probably can't believe this, but I have gone out into the field and I've combed for scientists upon scientists, and I've found another famous scientist. You're not going to believe what she studies. Young lady, could you please, for our teachers, tell us your name?
My name is Mary Lou Zobak.
All right, Mary Lou Zobak. And what kind of science do you study?
I study earthquake seismology.
Wow, you're an earthquake seismologist. Well, what is that? What is that?
An earthquake seismologist studies waves of energy that move the Earth's crust. I also study the risks posed by earthquakes.
Very interesting. Now, young lady, if you could please tell us, for our teachers and for the rest of the scientists who may be watching, what's something that you love about your job?
Most days I actually listen for volcanic eruptions on the ocean floor.
Wow. Well, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
All right, Cottonwood Creek teachers, you're in for a treat. I have gone and found another scientist from Sally Ride Institute. And young man, sir, could you please tell us your name?
My name is Chuck Hoberman, and I'm an inventor.
Wow, an inventor. Now, is there something that maybe you've invented that we would know you, or some landform where we might be able to recognize and say, oh, I remember him?
I designed the Hoberman Arch from 2002 Winter Olympics.
Wow, the 2002 Winter Olympics. He's famous. You know what, sir? I know you're an inventor, and I'm sure it must have been in something, you got your degree in something like engineering or something. But could you tell us, is there something about your degree or something about your scientific study that you really enjoy or that you love?
Engineering was the discipline that got me the tools to build the kind of ideas.
Wow. Well, your ideas are very well respected, and I thank you for coming on with us today. All right, teachers. Here we are. We've come to the final scientist, and like I said, I've combed the scientific desert, so to speak, to find the best of the best, the cream of the crop. And here we are at our final scientist. Now, if you could please tell us your name.
My name is Donald Bliss.
Donald Bliss. Interesting name. All right. So, Donald, could you please tell us what kind of science you've been interested in for or however long you've been there?
When I was young and growing up, I was planning to become a doctor until I noticed a poster. That's when I made up my mind to become a medical illustrator.
A medical illustrator? Wow, I've never thought of a medical illustrator as a scientist per se. Well, Donald, what is one thing that you truly love about being a medical illustrator?
What I love about my job is that I have the chance to study and illustrate something new.
All right, well, thank you very much. We are so pleased to have you here on today's show, and thank you for your time. All right, CC teachers, there you have it. All of our scientists have spoken, and you've got a little information on what it is that the Sally Ride Institute is trying to teach us. It's not a program. It's not a whole lot of planning we have to do. It's merely taking the time to show students and introduce students to a field of science that they may not have been aware of. And as you can tell, I mean, to me, at least in my mind, when we did the training, you know, I wouldn't necessarily, first thing off the top of my head when I'm getting into my science class, think, ooh, volcanologist, I'd really love to do that. But as you can see, these books give students that opportunity. And so before we say goodbye today, I would just like to show you a couple of the resources that the kids use today. The first one talks about medical science, and it's cool careers in medical sciences. And it goes through, every book goes through, kind of, it shows you a person, what the scientist does, maybe some interests that they have, things for the kids to do if they like. And then in the back, the really cool part about this in the back is it talks about careers for you. And I'm not saying that we need to have 4th and 5th graders planning out, for example, middle school, high school, and college electives, but they might get interested in something now, and later on in life they come back to you and say, hey, it was really cool. I learned about being a volcanologist in your class, and look what I'm doing. And, okay, so this was our first one, Cool Careers in Medical Sciences. We also have another book titled Cool Careers in Earth Sciences. Every scientist, you know, doesn't necessarily want to be a geologist, so you've got Cool Careers in Earth Sciences. We've got Cool Careers in Green Chemistry, one of my passions. Maybe you'd like to make the Earth a greener place. Our next one is Cool Careers in Environmental Sciences. Maybe you want to be an astronaut. Maybe you want to be an energy engineer. Who knows? But they might be interested in this book. We've got Cool Careers in Engineering. A lot of our students, I'm sure, would love to be engineers. And it's not just, you know, a technical engineer. Some of them have to do with video or artists. So that's really cool. And our final book is called Cool Careers in Space Sciences. You know, and this one isn't just going up and saying, ooh, I want to go up and be an astronaut. Sometimes, like I said, maybe they want to be a videographer in space science, which is also a scientist. So that is my time. I'd like to say thank you for your attention. I'd also like to thank the many scientists who decided to join me on our show, the Sally Ride Institute. Stay tuned next week when we interview a few more scientists. Thank you.